Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hey there, everybody. Long time no see. Well, actually, it was just last week. But I mean, in terms of trying to produce a show with your submitted videos, it's been a while. And if you would like to submit some video, there's no time like the present. Leave some feedback. Ask a question. Maybe show off one of your favorite gadgets that you recently acquired. Anybody? Anybody?
Hey, Chris Pirillo. This is Steve Garfield from stevegarfield.com, and this is my new favorite gadget. It's the Nokia N95, and it's a camera, and it's a video camera. It does 640 by 480. It also plays music, and it has Wi-Fi, and it has a GPS in it. It's also a phone. So there you go, the Nokia N95.
You can always count on Steve Garfield to throw you a video when you need it. Hey, does anybody know what time it is?
Hi there, Chris. It's Cozzo here from sunny London, here in the Cos Cave here. Anyway, I just saw your Twitter, your tweet, asking to tell you about our favourite gadget. Anyway, you might think that I'm just listening to an ordinary little kind of MP3 player here with my headphones in. What there is a little Bluetooth receiver here. You can see that clips on here. But is that going to a phone? Is that going to anything special? It's going to a watch. Yes, it's an MP3 playing watch from N-Trend Technologies, and not only does it play MP3s, it's got a 2 GB memory on it. Sends charges over USB. The USB cable is in the end of the strap there, as you can see, which is pretty clever. This little thing here charges over USB as well, and also it.
So, Casso, oh, you're not done?
I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by iJot. Yes, this little thing records as well. It records to a WAV format though, but the quality's not that bad. There's a little microphone in the top here. I took it out to a band the other night and recorded some music. A little bit loud, but no, it was okay. And I'm going to be doing a podcast with it soon called A Quick One Off the Wrist. Anyway, so to see you soon and see you at Nomedex. Cheers.
Fancy. See, myself, I never wear a watch. I just ask someone else what time it is. Well, actually today I am wearing my own little timepiece there. It's not coming off, at least until I shower again. But I do have a really cool timepiece that I acquired recently with my growing home office, as it were. And to show you, I'm actually going to have to move this camera around. It's probably going to make the video stutter. Sorry about that. These are inside my cubby holes, and each of these is a separate clock. And in each column, the way it lights up, it designates the time. So it's 0, 1, 4, 3. So it's 1:43 in the morning. And then, of course, it changes every few seconds. And I've got 6 of them lined up across my home office desk cubby area thing. It's just kind of cool. Sorry about the video freezing thing, but that's what you get for doing semi-live or live-to-tape video, as they say on television, or behind the scenes on television. And speaking of, I was just back from Vancouver, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't able to produce something like this video for everyone here. I just recorded a couple of shows with Leo Laporte on his new show, The Lab with Leo Laporte, and I was up there talking specifically about one of our video networks that we're in the process of creating, Undo TV. It should actually be in beta here in the next few days, and of course I'll be telling everybody about it. It's kind of cool the way that we've put it together. And then also, speaking of television, I was also on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I was also on CNN, and let's see here, CNBC. So the president saw me, and no, I'm not kidding. I was, well, okay, I'm kind of kidding, but serious at the same time. There's this old, or I shouldn't say old, a long-running internet cartoon known as JibJab. And chances are you've seen the JibJab videos, or at least one of them in the past. And they just recently produced one called What We Call the News. and they asked me if I would actually lend my face to the cartoon, and I was more than happy to do so. I interviewed Greg from JibJab. I don't think I've ever talked to Evan, the other brother from JibJab, and of course Dave Chappelle, who's actually asked a question before, but unfortunately his audio didn't translate very well. So anyway, they published the cartoon to the internet just last week, and as I posted in my blog at chris.pirillo.com, just Google for Chris and you'll find me. There we go. What we call the news, and at about 1:24 into it, you'll see my little face right there. Well, that's my body that I'm pointing at, but my face is actually right there. So I don't know if I can actually press play and go through it because the quality won't be that good. Yeah, there we go. Hosted on MSN Video. Well, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, so you can run through it yourself and see me. That's my 2 minutes of fame. Well, actually 3 seconds of fame, so I've got a few more minutes left. CBS News also linked to one of my posts about Twitter the other day, and if you haven't heard of Twitter, it's a interesting little application that's kind of taken the blogosphere by storm. It's an easy way to stay up to date with all your friends, and myself included, and I'll basically, throughout the day, post interesting thoughts, links, whatever, within 140 characters or less to this website or web service known as Twitter. TWITTER.com. And if you go there, you can look for me, Chris Pirillo, ChrisPirillo, and it's that really that easy. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to call me anytime, day or night, 888-Pirillo, 888-7474556. It'll go directly to voicemail because I don't actually have it plugged in, although that would make an interesting little recording if we actually open up the phone lines in this kind of recording scenario. But of course, in order for you to know that I was actually recording it at that time, you would want to follow me on Twitter, because as I was opening up the phone lines, I would announce it on Twitter. Everybody who's online would know, they would look, they would call in and interact, and it would just be, fun. And by the way, I'm sorry for all this color shifting that's going on. I blame Logitech. I can't blame Vista for this one, although I've found that other people have fallen away from Windows Vista and gone back to XP, including Brett Nordquist, a friend of mine who kind of jumped on me. Well, he jumped on me nicely in a digital way for leaving Vista behind for XP, and then didn't really say anything when I moved back from XP to Vista using VMware as a way to connect most of my hardware to Windows Vista. See if I can explain this. VMware makes a piece of software that's like a virtualization tool, which basically means you can run an operating system inside an operating system. So if I go to VMware.com, I'll show you here. VMware.com. It's virtual. You really can't see anything here. It's not translating very well. But essentially, it allows me to run an operating system within an operating system. And they have a beta of VMware Workstation version 6.0 that allows you to connect your USB devices from your host operating system, or the operating system that you're running, to the virtual operating system, or the operating system that's running inside the operating system. Virtualization is a really big deal. Essentially, it allows software developers to test on multiple platforms without having to reboot or try different machines. So anyway, it's not free, unfortunately, but the beta is, and so I've been using that as a way to connect my printer, scanner, all-in-one device from HP up to, and use it through Windows. The software, VMware, disconnects the USB device from Vista, then connects it to the XP virtual machine in an instant. Very, very impressive. Quite impressive. In fact, I'm not looking forward to having to register it because it's a few $100. That being said, it does work, and it's allowed me to return into Vista full time. Vista isn't perfect, admittedly. In fact, I've run into a few issues specifically with Flash, but I know I'm not the only one.
Hey, Chris, why is it that I can't receive SWF files on Internet Explorer anymore? I have to go to Firefox to get SWF files. Why is that? Please answer.
When it's happened to me, I've had to go to Macromedia, or I guess Adobe's website, and download the Flash uninstall program. Go ahead and do that, download that from Adobe's website, adobe.com, run it, and then the next time you visit a web page, it'll ask you to install the Flash control, and then everything should be fine when you close the browser and then restart it again. That's pretty much what it boiled down to for me, the Flash uninstaller. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how we have to deal with these kind of issues even today, and even people who deal with hardware and software all the time run into hiccups. And in some cases, we run into things that we really can't foresee.
Hey Chris, this is John Barlow. Had a sort of a technical question for you, I guess. I've subscribed to you or known about you for years now, and I've enjoyed some of the tech support and stuff like that you've done. But I have a concern, really, about well, basically your eyebrows. I mean, they puzzle the hell out of me. You see how, I mean, they're like wide at the top, and then they're narrower on the bottom, and it's like, maybe, I don't know, did a kindergartner or something cut them out of like construction paper and then paste them onto your forehead, or is it possible that you are really an alien? Which actually I've suspected you're an alien for quite some time now. Probably one of those the mutant aliens that are come out of one of those, those springform pans like you cook a cake in, I mean, which are some of the worst ones. So I'm worried. I'm not really worried. I'm just kind of concerned. Is it your desire to help the planet, or is it really a world conquest type of global domination thing? And do the other people of your species have those same eyebrows? Because I mean, just genetically, it's it's just you could comb them over your head if you got bald or something. I'm sorry, man. I'm just teasing you. I've enjoyed your stuff. Have a great one.
Gonna have to kill you now. Sorry about that. Actually, can you hear that muffled audio in the background? It's actually Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM. I'm a big fan, not because I'm a hybrid or anything, or a reptilian, or extraterrestrial, at least that I know of, but I also like following paranormal, bizarre, weird, conspiracy stuff. It's just kind of fun. Now, whether you want to believe my eyebrows are actually part of a global conspiracy, it's up to you. But as I said before, I would just keep the eyebrow thing where it's at on my forehead, and we'll move on from there to the next caller or question. Someone was asking specifically about what I use to encode videos and upload them to YouTube. And this someone might look familiar.
Hi Chris, it's me again. I've been watching quite a lot of your videos recently because I'm Skype user, so I get all your latest videos. And you like have them so long, you go on for so long, like the video I'm responding to at the moment is like 22 minutes and something like that. And mine takes quite a long time, about like, I don't know, 2 minutes just to do like a 30-second video to upload. And I was wondering how fast yours goes, and what internet connection you have, and what format you upload your files in, because I do mine in MP4 because it's just the voice sync is a bit more better. But if I do it in Windows media format, my voice doesn't go with the video, so I have to convert it. But I was just wondering what you used really, so hope you get back to me with this. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks for responding to my 2 questions I had in the video. I wouldn't have watched that video at first because it's quite a long one, but as I was in the middle of the video I saw a picture of me on your screen, so I quickly looked at it and I saw me on there, so luckily I did look at that, so yeah. Thanks Chris. Bye. Charlie's Videos, bringing happiness your way.
Well, first of all, Charlie, I'm glad you could weather that longer video and actually see and hear yourself pop up there. Some people have asked for long videos, some people ask for short videos, some people ask for tech videos, some people ask for funny videos, and some people have asked me to stop trying to make funny videos because I'm just not all that funny. But that being said, what do I use? I use Windows Movie Maker, and I usually drag and drop the videos into the interface, into the program, and then save it out as like a VHS format. No, not VHS really, I mean that's the predetermined profile for the format that I usually export in, and that gives me decent video quality, no worse than the original source. Sometimes I use a Logitech video camera, or I guess webcam. Sometimes I use my video camera that I talked about in an earlier episode, and psychotic eyebrow alien episode. Sometimes I use my digital still camera that also records video, but ultimately it all filters through the Windows Movie Maker again, because that's largely what I use at this point in time. I actually had to convert using MOV AVI Video Suite, MOV AVI Video Suite. Use that to convert some MP4 files to AVI files so that Windows Movie Maker could read them just fine, and it's actually kind of nice. It's not free. It can't be much more than, you know, maybe $20, something like that. But it transcodes any video to another video and allows you to do all sorts of fun things with the video. Easy to do. Very good interface. Very solid. You know, it's quick and easy. Easy is the word that I like using more than anything else. But of course, you know, you got to be careful with larger video sizes because it'll take a while. I mean, as good as your internet connection is, but you know, you don't want to get too big because YouTube can only accept files up to 100 megabytes in size. Now that being said, Charlie, I've been a big fan of yours from the very beginning, and you might remember I was one of your first subscribers. I know you're going to burn up the YouTube charts. I want you to remember the little people when you make it big, Charlie. And speaking of, Charlie, if you want to submit video help or tips or, you know, maybe interesting things that you found and discovered, I'd love to include you on a regular basis here in what I'm doing. Just because, well, number one, I would have killed to have YouTube when I was a kid, and number two, I really like what you're doing. I admire the effort that you make, especially being involved in the community and whatnot. Now, speaking of community,
okay. Yeah, it's very informative. All right, guys, so I'm here tonight with, come here, Christine. This is for Chris. Hello. All right, Chris Pirillo. I sent you in a little thing about Twitter the other day. Did you get it? I'm not sure. I haven't listened and heard. But I'm sitting here right now with Christine.
We Twitter back and forth.
From BigPinkCookie.com. And this is a blast from the past for Chris Pirillo of Locker Gnome and
ChrisPirillo.com.
ChrisPirillo.com. And, of course, the number one most important Chris in the world. We just want to say hi and say that we missed you at South by Southwest this year. We wished you were here. We thought about, of course, we thought about you a lot, and that we're going to miss you at Nomadex, too, because we're not coming, are we? Are you going to Nomadex?
Maybe we should raise some money before.
Hey, think you could send us some free invites? Send us some free invites. We'll come to Nomadex. All right, so I'm just going to put that thought out there. And,
we're going to balance out the female ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we'd be good people to have in tow. So anyway, yeah, we miss you. We love you. Tell Ponzi we said hi. And we just want to say hey.
Well, it's good to see you two again. Actually, I've never seen you before in my life. I mean, I know of you two. It was Christine for a long time, but we've never actually met in person, which is just kind of odd for as much as we've interacted with each other digitally. But we just keep running in the same circles, and in some cases, I keep running in circles. Much like some people's hard drives, which may be giving them problems.
Hello, Chris, or Locker Gnome, as your YouTube handle would lead me to believe. Yeah, that whole Tech TV thing's kind of messed up. I missed call for help. Anyway, my old Maxtor 120 gig hard drive croaked. Dead. Solid block of metal. So I went and got a new one, a Seagate, and yes, it was above the 137 gig limit. And I tried to install that, and I was getting blue screens of death and total file corruption crap due to my version of Windows XP is original, not Service Pack 1 or anything. Here it is. And so I thought that the hard drive was dead, so I returned it, and I got a Western Digital one as well, 160 gig. And though it's working better, every once in a while I'll still get a memory dump, blue screen of death, and recently World of Warcraft became so corrupted that I had to reinstall it. I don't even know where to start. I mean, is it the hard drive again, the driver, some registry thing in Windows? Help me! And yes, I have upgraded Windows to the most recent. I'm past Service Pack 2 at this point. So that's what gets me. Like, I'm upgraded in Windows. It should have no problem with such a big hard drive, but I'm still getting file corruption issues. Has it due to the fact that when I installed the operating system at first, it wasn't? It was, old school Windows XP and not even Service Pack 1? Is that the problem? Oh, I'm also partitioned it in two chunks. So neither of the partitions are past the 137 gig limit. I got one, it's like 135, and then I've got the XS as a drive F. So I don't understand why I'm getting corruption errors at this point. Any help would be greatly appreciated.
Well, as was asked and answered in your comments thread, yeah, it was a memory problem, not necessarily related to the hard drive itself. And that now that you've replaced the memory, everything seems to be going okay. Now that's, again, the neat thing about leaving video feedback here, or at least where I'm publishing it right now through YouTube, where you can leave video feedback in your own account, and then your own subscribers will see your question and then possibly answer the question before I could get to it or anybody else can. It's just a nice way of kind of, spreading the word about information and sharing information. So, like I said, I'm still thrilled, very much so, about that concept and how it all works. Now, of course, I can't find the video right now, but someone had asked me if I like poop. I wish I could find the video so you believe me, and it's just one of those facts of life. It's a human thing. We all have to do it. In fact, there's a book that I bought for Ponzi as a gag called Everyone Poops. I'm serious. Look it up. I mean, my sense of humor is a little off the wall, and just to prove that, here's my stack of magazines, and in here, these are the things that I usually read on a regular basis. I'm a little behind. CPU magazine, and just again, for full disclosure, I actually write for CPU magazine. And let's see, what did I write in this one? I'm not sure. Anyway, so it's a very geeky magazine. Been writing from issue 1. Wired, and oh, look at that! Lonely Girl 15. See, someone else I am likely never going to meet. This is where my humor comes from. Mad Magazine. God, I can't wait to dive into that one. I also read small business magazines, just Employees from Hell, which of course I am, or was when I was actually working for someone. Popular Science, another good magazine, very, very geeky.
Hey Chris, this is Aaron Brazell from TechnoSeller.com and the podcast SuicideFan.com, which is a sports podcast, and I'm really happy you're doing your call for help. Excuse any noise in the background. I'm sitting at Starbucks and enjoying some coffee, enjoying a nice Saturday afternoon. I do have a couple questions for you. Maybe you can answer me, particularly as it relates to the podcasting portion of what I do. I'd like to be able to have as close to a live experience as possible. I'd like to be able to have callers call in, have readers, commenters, whatever, be able to participate in the show. I'm not sure really how to do that because the podcasting typically is done in advance. I use Mac, we do Skype, talk to my guests, and we record the conversations, but to this time I really have no idea how to integrate user input. I want to get actual users. We got an email address that people can send comment and questions to, but it's not quite the same thing as if people were able to actually call in, talk to the guest, talk to me, call us on our crap when we make it, and do that sort of thing. I'm wondering if you know how to do that. We're using WordPress, using PodPress. Those are the basic things that we do use on the web front of it to present the podcast, but I'm really not sure on the back end when recording the thing how to integrate user input. Any help on that would be great.
Good question. I've actually just recently used a program that I announced I was using it on Twitter, and when I announced that I was having this teleconference, this free teleconference, like 20 people joined up, and it was kind of crazy because everyone was talking. Now, of course, I could have muted them just as easily, but that website is at, well, it looks like liveoffice.com. freeconferencing.liveoffice.com. Worked just fine, and they recorded the MP3 remotely. I just called in with my phone, and we all talked, and it was done. Of course, some people use Skype to record messages, or not just messages, but conversations. Pamela is a good plug-in. Again, so I've heard. I haven't actually had a chance to use it. Pamela, at a certain version, will actually record video conversations as well. Another one that you might consider using, TalkShoe, TalkShoe. Yeah, SHOE, TalkShoe.com. Sorry, it's, as I pointed out, like close to about 2 in the morning here. I don't know why I wait till the middle of the night to do these things, but I don't know, maybe I feel it gives me somewhat of an edge. So there are 3 possibilities for you, or anybody out there who's wanted to record some kind of interactive podcast, Skype, TalkShoe, or LiveOffice.com, specifically freeconferencing.liveoffice.com, which was really, really simple to use, and as the name suggests, absolutely free. And you know what else is absolutely free? Justin.tv. It's this guy. He's got equipment strapped to his head, and he's streaming the internet live, like 24/7. And all the rage. I never really imagined that I would meet him, and then I did last week. And the day and the moment that I met him, the San Francisco Chronicle was interviewing. They were following him around. And so my picture ended up on the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle the other day with Justin TV. We were standing outside of a Pete's store. And of course, Pete's coffee is my favorite coffee, and that's the reason why we were there, is because I was like, let's go get coffee. And he's just so happened to be there through another friend, Jeremiah Aoyang. And if I said that, I think I got that right, Jeremiah Aoyang. He works for PodTech, as do a lot of my friends, actually, work for PodTech. Specifically, and like Robert Scoble, of course, and John Furrier, both of whom have been GnomeDex attendees in the past. John is pretty much the guy who started podtech.net. A lot of good technology podcasts, if you hadn't heard of them before. Don't know if they're uploading to YouTube yet, and if not, I've really got to encourage them to do that, just because I think it's one of those things that, well, you know, video, it is the future. I mean, hey, I'm doing it right here. And I know that some people, you know, in terms of video, some people even got questions about, you know, reusing hardware when it comes to video.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I just had a real quick question for you. First, just wanted to say something about how I do miss the Call for Help days back on Tech TV. Real shame they had to kind of script the network like they did. Anyway, I do have a question. I'm kind of curious about using an old monitor I have to accept composite AV inputs. let's say like from a PlayStation 2, GameCube, Nintendo Wii, whatever. I was wondering if any decent devices that you may be able to recommend. I don't know if you have any experience with any. I'm possibly looking for something to do that with, where I'm in college right now, and a lack of a TV. So, if you can recommend any decent devices, it'd be great. Thanks a lot. Enjoying what you're doing here on YouTube.
There's really no right answer to this because there are so many various hardware configurations that you may be dealing with. You know, my specific monitor has multiple inputs, so it supports like S-Video, VGA, DVI, composite, component, runs the gamut. Doesn't do HDMI, unfortunately, so I mean, not like I have a lot of devices that handle that at this point in time. So if your video only has one kind of input, you may need to get some kind of external switcher that would allow you to plug in once and then plug in multiple sources and then switch between them. Kind of like we used to have way back when with parallel printers, switching between A and B. At least my dad had one years ago. Well, they still make switchers of all types, and that might be the way that you're going to be able to solve the problem. Now, again, hardware is one of those things that I'm just kind of guessing what is going to help you through that particular issue or conundrum. But switchers are also very, very wonderful things. All right, well, before we head out here tonight, let's see if we can nail another video submission. Someone's asking about an icon on the desktop that just won't go away.
Hey Chris, it's a really cool idea, the call for help online thing, but my problem is I have an icon on my desktop and it must be left over from something I deleted previously, but every time I try to delete this icon I keep getting an error message saying the file's not found. What can I do to get it off there? I mean, it's not hurting anything, it's just irritating not being able to delete it. I have Windows Vista Basic, so if you can help, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. And here's the error message I'm getting.
Well, my first suggestion is that you drop to a command line. That's kind of geeky. Go ahead and go to the Start menu. Well, you just click the blue orb. Click Start Search and then type in CMD. That's one way of doing it. Let's see here. Let me make sure. CMD. Yep, CMD. Hit Enter. That'll drop you down to a command line, so it's like way back when there was no graphics. And then from there, you might want to browse to the location of your desktop. By default, let's see here, make sure here. By default in Windows Vista, you drop to your user directory. So you should just be able to type in CD desktop, type in dir, and then you'll get a listing of all the files on your desktop. And then from there, you can type in del space and then the name of the file that you're wanting to remove. And my guess is that will get rid of it. And now if that's not the case and that doesn't work, let me know. Again, I'm just kind of guessing here since I don't have any kind of interactivity. So it's making me wonder if we should figure out another way to do these videos. But there's no real easy way of doing live video conferences, at least for free, on the internet. Of course, we've got good sponsors like GoDaddy and AMD and Camtasia. Or I guess, well, Camtasia is the name of the software. TechSmith is the name of the company specifically. Hi, Betsy. She's probably not waving back, and if she is, people think she's crazy because this is just a one-way video. Since this is a one-way video, please leave your feedback. You can either do so by following up with a video here on YouTube to this video, and I'll see it, and everybody else will as well. Or you could use the Eyebrow widget. That's a program that's being designed by another one of my friends, David Geller, who runs What Counts, which is the email service I've been using for years to distribute Locker Gnome. But he also has this product called iJot. Here, let me show you. I've got it right now at chris.pirillo.com/video. And you can see, here we go.
Hi there, Chris Pirillo here. And if you
got a question about technology, whether it be about the internet. I don't know if you can hear that necessarily, but essentially what this will allow you to do is hit reply, and you could actually reply anonymously if you wanted to. It's no big deal, or you could log in, and then you could record your iJot, and as you're doing it, it will actually record it, and then you've got 60 seconds to ask your question. And here, see here, see, this is going to look absolutely just odd. And oh, there are my clocks, and right now it's 2:03 in the morning. Boy, this is just going to turn out to be one of the weirdest shows I think we've ever done. All right, so I've stopped it, send it, and it'll go off, and then I will be able to receive the video file and play it back for years to come, until I get bored of myself. So anyway, I think that's about it. It's been, like I said, a pretty crazy week, and hopefully with your video questions and submissions and suggestions and, well, whatever, we'll be able to rock and roll and keep moving this forward. As I mentioned in my blog, I've got a handful of other kinds of media that are there, including an audio review of a HP tablet. They're not really calling it a tablet. It's more like an entertainment device, the TX1000, and both Ponzi, my wife, and I have been playing around with that. Did an audio interview. She also did an interview with someone who's working on archiving television shows. So again, and I mean archiving television shows for posterity, not just, because they're trying to cheat the system. Because you got to think, years from now, what's going to happen to all the broadcasts that are going on? Is anybody saving them? Well, this guy in particular, Jeff Uboyce, if I remember his name correctly, at archiving.tv, is doing just that. And just to show you, chris.pirillo.com/media, and I'll be putting these links, by the way, in the description here. That's where you can go to get or to download the podcasts or video files that I'm not necessarily sending through YouTube. Some of them I are, some of them I am, some of them I'm not. But yeah, I think that's just about it. Please stop by my blog, subscribe to my Twitter ID, subscribe to my blog, subscribe to my podcast. Let me know where you want to go with this, what you want to do. Ask questions, give answers, have fun, and I guess until next time, just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you later.